I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, May the 22nd, 2014. A Palestinian man suspected of trying to kidnap an Israeli was arrested by the Israeli security agency, the Shin Bet, and charged this morning in Israel. 25-year-old Murad Hassan Ali Hassin from the West Bank town of Kabatia confessed to the kidnapping plot. He is affiliated with the Islamic Jihad terror organization and was jailed in the past for trying to stab a soldier. Last month, he is accused of coming into Israel illegally and trying to enter a home in the town of Avtalion in northern Israel armed with a knife with the intent of kidnapping someone from the home to later exchange for Palestinian security prisoners. Ali Hassin was charged at a district court in Haifa today. U.S. State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki stated this week that the U.S. was still engaged with Israel and the Palestinians regarding the suspended peace talks, but that it was up to the parties to take the next steps. The Jerusalem Post reports that Psaki addressed reporters in Washington yesterday about U.S. envoy Martin Indyck's recent meeting with the Middle East Quartet, which includes representatives from the U.S., the EU, the UN, and Russia in Brussels this past Monday. She said the meeting was a regularly scheduled session and provided an opportunity for Ambassador Indyck and other envoys to assess where things stand and consult on the way ahead. Referring to the Israeli-Palestinian peace process, she added, "Obviously, at this stage, we're clearly in a hiatus from the talks," adding that the focus and effort now was on getting the two sides to come up with new ideas and to avoid any unhelpful steps. The Associated Press reports that charges will likely soon be brought in Germany against 20 former Nazi guards at the Majdanek death camp. Kurt Schrimm is the federal prosecutor leading Germany's Special Nazi War Crimes Office. He said he will likely turn over 20 cases to state investigators in a few weeks, following an extensive war crimes probe of the Majdanek camp. A similar investigation is ongoing of the Auschwitz death camp, and Schrimm said more suspected former SS men and women will be named from there as well in the next few months. Nazi hunter and head of the Jerusalem branch of the Simon Wiesenthal Center, Ephraim Zuroff, said, "We are very hopeful that the work will be expedited so as many people as possible can be brought to justice." A resolution calling for their school to divest from companies doing business in the West Bank was voted down this week at the University of Washington. On Tuesday night, the Student Senate at the school overwhelmingly rejected the measure in a vote of 59 against, 8 in favor, and 11 abstentions. The resolution called on the university to divest from companies providing equipment or services used to maintain or support the, quote, Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, and was the latest effort of the BDS, or Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions movement, whose goal it is to delegitimize the State of Israel. Pro-Israel education and advocacy organization Stand With Us praised the university's students and Hillel chapter for their efforts and leadership in standing up to the BDS effort. Former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg received the Genesis Prize tonight in Jerusalem, presented to him by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Ahead of the event, the former mayor announced that he will invest the $1 million prize to create a global competition. The Genesis Generation Challenge will invite teams of people from across the world to submit inventive and creative ideas guided by Jewish values that address the challenges facing the world today. Up to 10 teams will then be chosen to implement those ideas. Bloomberg said, "To me, nothing is more central to Jewish values than wanting to make the world a better place." He said young people in every corner of the earth have great ideas of how to change the world, but lack the resources they need to try. The Genesis Generation Challenge, he said, will help find and fund them. Former arts critic and managing editor for the New York Times, Arthur Gelb, has died. He was 90 years old. Gelb passed away Tuesday after suffering a stroke. The son of Jewish immigrants from Czechoslovakia and Ukraine, Gelb worked at the Times from 1944 until 1989. He was said to have a commanding presence in the newsroom, and in its obituary of Gelb, the Times wrote that by sheer force of personality, he was a dominant figure at the New York Times for decades. And turning now to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Thursday, May the 22nd. Coming up after the news, Hollywood producer Leonard Goldberg talks to Mark Gelb about the Jewish foundation and ethical themes that run through his TV show on CBS, Blue Bloods. And later tonight at 9, new kosher cuisine author Helen Nash talks about her Jewish journey and her most recent kosher cookbook with Mark Gelb on L'chaim at 9 o'clock. That's all coming up here tonight on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Thursday, May the 22nd, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.